1470-WNN7BD Boca Raton, the Health and Wealth Radio Network.
Homeowners, would you like to save money each and every month? Of course you would. We all want to save money, but how? By calling Debbie at I Will Advisors, that's how, and have her review your homeowner's policy. Most homeowners never review their policy, but it should be reviewed every year. You commercial property owners, same goes for you. So what are you waiting for? Call Debbie at I Will Advisors and start saving money. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
If you're not happy with your investments, if you've ever tried the stock market and haven't done well, hop in the car and get to Online Trading Academy. Online Trading Academy's pro investors show you how they find the right investments. Learn current Wall Street skills about stocks, options, futures, forex, even Bitcoin. See how market timing works and how money is made in up, down, and sideways markets by using their patented rules-based strategy. It helps find the right investment and limit the risk. The instructors at Online Trading Academy are certified, currently trade, and are profitable. They show you how they invest every day. Call now for a pair of tickets to a free half-day class at Online Trading Academy. Classes are all over Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, Jupiter, and Port St. Lucie. Call Online Trading Academy now. Call 954-668-2510. 954-668-2510. 954-668-2510.
Now you can get Talk 1470 WNN on 95.3 FM too. Loud and clear, Health and Wealth Radio, WNN.
The following program is sponsored by the Emerald Financial Group, which is solely responsible for its content. Securities offered through JW Cole Financial members, FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through JW Cole Advisors. The Emerald Financial Group, JW Cole Financial, and JW Cole Advisors are unaffiliated entities. The opinions expressed by Jeanette Vanderhorst should not be construed as specific investment, legal, or tax advice. All economic and performance information is historical and not indicative of future results. Investing may involve the risk of loss of principal. Any tax advice on this show is not intended to be used by any person for the purpose of avoiding U.S. federal or state tax penalties that may be imposed on such person, and each listener should seek advice from their tax advisor or legal counsel on topics that arise from the show. Jeanette Vanderhorst is not providing legal or tax advice. Nothing should be construed as solicitation of an offer to buy securities.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Hi, Sandra Torres with Plan Your Company, a business coaching and consulting firm that helps to fast-track business goals for entrepreneurs and business owners.
And Jeanette Vanderhorst, I'm a wealth advisor with the Emerald Financial Group, helping to educate and empower our women to take control of their financial futures. Thank you for joining us today at Minding Your Business with Sandra and Jeanette at twoboricuas.com,
providing mindful thoughts on life, love, and business. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Two Boricuas Talk Radio, Minding Your Business with Sandra and Jeanette. We are so happy to have you on listening today. So if you are listening to us live, we're on 95.3 WNN, or on Facebook Live. If you're watching us right now, we are on Facebook Live. So we have an interesting show today. We want to go over some of the events, you guys, for August. We have next week, Wednesday, the United Women Professionals Luncheon that's going to be held on August 15th, 11:30 to 1 at Farmer's Table in Boca Raton. So hope to see you there. Please register. It's very critical that you do register. You could find us on Eventbrite, or I made a bit.ly link, so you can go to bit.ly/United Women August.
I love
and you'll
Farmer's
be able to
Table.
find that. It's very good. I love it in there. They have a good selection of different things too.
Yeah,
Very tasty.
I'm excited about that. My stomach is growling just thinking about it.
Yeah. Are you the type of person that looks at a menu before you go to the restaurant and kind of think about?
No. I should, though.
I do that.
I should.
That's actually one of the things that Gustavo and I, speaking on the love, is important, is make sure we eat.
Well, food is love. Food is love.
Food is love.
So, yeah, I mean, like, seriously, my stomach is growling right now. So.
Yeah. So do you have some events? You still have the...
right now what I have is the book club.
Mm-hmm.
Women, wine, books, and chocolate. So we're going to do 6 to 7:30. It's at my office in Deerfield, 1166 West Newport Center Drive. That's Suite 307 in Deerfield. So follow us on the Emerald Financial Group, and there'll be some information. September? This is September 13th, and the months that follow will be the second Thursday of every month. Yeah. Yeah.
A good collaboration, brainstorm, just whatever, kind of just go over what you guys are consuming and then sharing experiences, and that's very good.
We'll have some outlines that topics to discuss based on the chapters that we go over.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Anytime there's wine.
Women and wine and chocolate.
Women and wine and chocolate.
Why is chocolate? Chocolate is a symbol of love, right?
Yeah. And grapes.
And grapes.
Right? Grapes.
But chocolate is the aphrodisiac. It's that symbolic, when somebody loves you, they give you chocolate.
They give you chocolate.
Yeah, and like I always thought of Gustavo, food is the weight of my heart. He knows that. Everybody has, speaking on love, it's the different ways people either give it or like to receive it,
right.
And I've always been a foodie, so he knows, like a little chocolate treat or something always makes my day. He knows you're listening.
Hi, Pete. Hi, Amy. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I think that's extremely important. I think it's beautiful that you share that with him, because part of this conversation is about communication, being able to communicate with the person you love and say, hey, this is what I like and this is what I don't like.
Exactly.
No one, unless you have some special gifts, I'm not a mind reader.
Yeah.
So I don't like to guess. I like to know.
Yeah.
So if that means having to ask a very uncomfortable question, it saves a lot of grief.
For sure.
If you just know, if you just ask the question.
For sure. For sure. And you could sense it. It's funny because I was reading something the other day, and it was talking about just our energies, how our energy and how we emote a specific energy and how that affects a dynamic. So sometimes, as women, we all have that time of the month, or just sporadic. Sometimes the way the moon's aligned, you're just thrown off your thing, So it's funny because I have come to recognize that about myself. I'll catch myself if I'm being snappy, or I'll hear, like, if Gustavo's like, and then, so I'm like very aware of that. And it almost, the acknowledgement that's being that self-aware is almost like, okay, it allows you to stop and take a step back and be a little patient with yourself and with everybody around you.
Right.
And say, I don't mean to come off anyway. I love you.
The head shaking, like you don't even realize when it's happening. We have mannerisms, so even our body language and the exchange is so important. And look, it's easy to criticize, it's easy to judge, it's easy to feel like something is happening, but a lot of who we are is who we're going to attract.
Yep.
So, when you say that, like I tell my kids, and I've been talking about this a lot recently. When you go judging someone, ask yourself, am I guilty of that?
For sure.
Do I do that? We say when you're pointing the finger, there's always 3 fingers pointing back at you. So you have to pay attention to that.
Yep.
And when you take that position, then you'll start to see that maybe the qualities that you don't want to attract are the qualities that you need to change within yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. That's very possible. And it's funny because I think everybody has the very defensive role, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're in a partnership with somebody. It's, you're only seeing it from your side, and being in a relationship, it's very important to understand the perspective of somebody else. Like, for me, in kind of one of the very foundations that I've always discussed with people is give everybody the right to be upset and the right to be mad. Give them that. Don't assume anything from that. I think everybody has their right to feel any specific way, and then just let that person go through their motions. Let that person experience that, because we're quick to, like, for example, if I sense Gustavo's energy is off, as opposed to being quick to, like, I sense that energy, and I'm going to, innately as a human, we just react with that same energy. It transfers. And the people are not always aware of that, that you can't just be mad and have the world say, kind of come to your beck and call on that. But it's acknowledging that everybody has a place and the ability to be any realm of emotion, and we have to give them that. And that is extending that compassion and empathy. Like, you don't always have to be, a specific way, but it's giving somebody the right to be mad over anything or to go through their emotions. I think that's important in a relationship, and a healthy relationship.
Sure. And well, sort of talking about what you just mentioned, if you find yourself, or you're saying the world is the problem, like everyone else is the problem, maybe it's because you haven't set healthy boundaries for yourself. Yeah. And then in not knowing your own boundaries, you don't see when you're crossing someone else's. So you're not respecting theirs either, because you can't even identify your own. Yeah. So really being comfortable with yourself, knowing what you want, what you don't want, like Sandra mentioned, coming from a place of compassion and understanding. Yeah, I'm not the type of person, I don't enjoy being mad. It's not my favorite place to be. Yeah. It takes way too much time, way too much energy. I'm the fairy in my house, the la 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 la, and Lewis is like, okay, nothing ever bothers you. You're in some other planet. And I was like, hey, why don't you join me? Yeah. But like you said, he's entitled to go through whatever he's going through.
Yeah, not that he does. I'm just, whenever that happens.
Whenever he's going through it, he's entitled to feel however way he's feeling. I choose not to live in that negative space, but some people are more comfortable in it simply because they haven't explored stepping out and looking at it. Because sometimes when we look at things, we'll see that, guys, in the topic of love and relationship, remember, you yourself, we as people, we are the common denominator. Mm-hmm. We're the common denominator. So a lot of what we're feeling, a lot of what we're getting from people resonates from within us. Yeah. It comes out. So like you said, getting short and saying, I'm just going to give him space to go through whatever he's feeling if he wants to be upset, or friends. Same thing. But still, making it a point, I think communication is key. So at some point, depending on where that feeling of anger is coming from, communication is still key. At some point, it needs to get addressed. Yeah. Give them the space to feel it. But
I think people that are angry want to communicate, versus like people that are upset, they have this, I just want somebody to empathize with me, really is kind of the back end psychology that I found is people just want to be heard, at a very simple level. They just want to be heard, and they want to feel like they matter. And so sometimes, like, even though I know I should give somebody space, I'll do the opposite. I'll just kiss you and space. I'll invade. But it changes somebody. It could, in an instant, it can change somebody's, I feel like crap mode into thank you. Oh, yeah. Thank you for showing me love when I don't feel love now,
I do that at home all the time when, Lewis has got his Taurus bull face and he's just kicking dirt and smoke is coming out his ears. And that's exactly when I want to just pester him. Yeah. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. Sometimes, sometimes it doesn't work out in my favor, but it's okay. I just keep trying. Yeah. Because, in saying yes, you're allowed to be upset. It shouldn't change the dynamics. Yeah. I mean, and this is when we're talking about love, right? In actual love. Yeah. Because then there's the other topic of friends and family. Yeah. And how we handle those. We talk about communication, accountability, being honest, and cultivating. It takes two to tango. So if you're trying to establish a healthy relationship, then you have to also cultivate that. Yeah. And if you're going to put your best foot forward, make sure that it's not that 3-month rule and after 3 months you're just not that person anymore. Make sure that the what you put out is organic and it's as authentic as it can be, so that no one has to experience change later. Cultivation, right? So you want to cultivate what? Compassion, positivity, love. Mm-hmm.
and understandings. Everybody kind of a little going back to what I was saying, everybody responds differently to different things. So it's knowing somebody and knowing how they respond to those things. Like Gustav, he read this book and he's always telling me about it. I've never read it, but it's I think the 5 love languages. I'm not sure if anybody's listening, if you know it, but it's a book about love languages. How people, like some people experience when you love them, you touch them. You know, some if you love them, they want to be showered with gifts. That's how they feel the symbolism of you showing me affection. Others, you know, don't want any touch, don't want any, like there's just different things that appeal. You know, not everybody understands the same language, you know, but, you know, it's just.
And that's where communication, right? And sharing with someone and saying, this is what I like and this is what I don't like.
Yeah. And having those conversations, Frank, you know, it's amazing to me that couples don't have those relationships, those conversations of this is what bothers me in a sincere, authentic way, because that's how relationships that will break apart. If you're not able to say, this is what I'm feeling and this is why I'm feeling this way. And I totally empathize and understand where you're coming from. And sometimes where you might not agree with it, it's really just understanding that perspective.
Absolutely.
And vice versa. And I think that's one of the keys. Like you were saying, the communication. That's number one.
Yeah, guys, if you have anything you want to share with us, our lines are open.
We want to know.
888-565-1470. Again, boundaries, communication.
Yeah.
When it comes to friendships, you know, some of the hardest breakups are friendships.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worse than a divorce, and there's no legal document attached to it, but it feels like a part of you has been completely ripped out.
Yeah.
And why is that?
I don't know. I guess it depends how you see that. You know, I don't know. I think that I know for me, you know, there's definitely friendships that I definitely need to be better at really paying more attention to. But I think life happens, you know, and we can't say that's an excuse, you know, that you're doing a million things. And but sometimes it's kind of what we were going back the other day. It's the crap. If I call that person now or reach out now, they're going to be like, what, give you a hard time about it. Like, oh, fine, you're calling me now. And then you feel guilty.
Oh, it's about time.
You
got the, it's about time. And you're like, wait a minute. But, you know, communication is a two-way street. So you can't just impose that on someone and say, you know, it's about time, as if you've been sitting for days and hours and months and weeks waiting for that phone call.
Yeah, and it's up to that person. What about you?
Absolutely.
We have to take the responsibility to pick up that phone and say, you know,
I thought of you. You came to mind. And, you know, instead of waiting to see if you were going to call me, I just picked up the phone and called you.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that those are beautiful gifts that we receive that come unexpectedly, that shouldn't come with any type of what's the word? It shouldn't have that expectation.
Yeah.
You know, that pressure of saying, like, yes, it's important to cultivate, but there's a healthy cultivation.
Yeah, because it could be scary. It could be not scary, but it's the crap. They're just gonna give me a hard time, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be given a hard time.
It could be a friend. It could be a family member. You could have that one abuela that says, por fin me llamaste. You know, like, really, okay, I'm sorry, but call. It's okay to call the other person too. You know, I think that happens a lot with a lot of people. And then days will go by and you're sitting, wait a minute, but when I thought of you, I called you. Yeah. So if you felt that way, all I'm envisioning is that at no point did it occur to you to pick up the phone and call me.
Yeah.
So, you know, and let's talk about empathy, because you brought that up earlier. And there's a lot of people, like I'm extremely empathetic. So I can pick up on energy, even if I don't see you, I can feel it. You're the same way.
Yeah.
That empathy sometimes can steer us wrong.
Yeah.
You know, where we can be too empathetic to the point that we can formulate an unhealthy relationship, because we put ourselves in the position of solely being the giver. So that would, I guess, take us back to healthy boundaries, knowing your boundaries. But empathy is fantastic, especially in business. Empathizing with someone is great because it helps you to get a better understanding, form better relationships, but there has to be healthy boundaries because you can carry something that's really not yours to carry too.
For sure. Sometimes, I mean, like empathetic people, it's like you have overwhelm, you know, and you're picking up. And I think that's with a lot of women, you know, especially this rise, just the era that we're in right now is the rise of we're able to pick up, we're very intuitive, you know, very, just our frequencies able to pick up so much that we start carrying on the burdens. And it's almost like you have this desire to support and help other people, but it's an overwhelm. You can't, you know, and it's almost, it becomes a frustration, you know?
And it causes health issues too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is people that are extremely empathetic.
Yeah.
That energy that they pick
They
up.
go into depression.
It goes, it affects
And
them in
anxiety.
so many different ways. Again, communication, guys. Communication decreases those social anxieties. It also helps to take away the insecurities because there's no guessing.
Yeah.
There's no guessing. And I'd rather know the hard truth than to be, you know, sort of steered in the wrong direction and I'm thinking everything is okay and there's a problem.
Yeah.
You know, so I think communication is just huge. And besides, you, in the end, in any relationship, in the one that you want to be with, or whether it's a friend or a love interest, you just want to make sure that whatever you cultivate, you do it well. It's not going to be perfect, but if you're communicating and you're being honest, then you can have a good outcome.
Yeah. And like the basis, you know, if we kind of just take everything we just said and wrap it up, the basis is self-love, you know, is starting at the point of what are things that you do, you know, what are things that we do to really cultivate our own self-love? Because the only way that you could extend the love to your partner is understanding your own value, your own appreciation, your gratitude for your own existence, you know, where you're able to really appreciate and be grateful for somebody else, you know? Because I think insecurities will fall down, you know, the wayside when it comes to that.
Insecurities, I mention insecurities and I find them to be very important because those insecurities that we carry, we shouldn't carry them in a way that's going to be destructive to us. We should carry those as badges. Like, know that something's happened to you and it's okay to wear it. It's okay to say, you know what, this happened to me, but I'm going to wear it with honor. I'm going to know that I'm going to see it before it gets to me because I'm acknowledging that part of me that was either hurt for whatever reason. Okay, let me change that. Maybe it's not insecurity. It's just self-love. It's that self-love, saying I'm important enough to myself that if I want to have a healthy relationship, I want to make sure that I know what I want, what I don't want.
Yep.
I tell my kids all the time, like, you want a good relationship? Start with your 5 do's and 5 don'ts.
Exactly.
5 things you want in a person, 5 things you don't want in a person. Don't make them complicated.
Yeah.
You get 1 out of the 3, you got more than half. You're in good standing. But just make sure that there are 5 things you absolutely want in a partner that you cannot do without.
Yeah.
And then the 5 don'ts are things that you absolutely will not tolerate. And maybe you pull those from your bulletproof badges that you've created over time, and that changes. So
yeah, for sure. You know, I used to have a girlfriend, this is when I was dating, and I used to always have spiritual conversations with people because that was the topic of matter. Where do you stand morally? What are your values as an individual? And I had a girlfriend tell me once, like, you scare guys away. You know, you're always like talking about like where they see God and this God, and you know. And I'm like, I don't care if I want to scare them away. I want to know where they stand morally, what their beliefs are, where their logic is, where their intellect is, how they feel about subjects that are important to me.
You're filtering it. You're just filtering out what you want in your life. There's nothing wrong with that.
If you can't have a conversation with me about God, I couldn't have a relationship with you. And look, here I am now, an ex-pastor. I'm with an ex-pastor. So, which we have conversations about God at any, you know, it fills me. You know, it's the ability where I could say that, you know, this is what I'm thinking about this matter. And I can have somebody that I can have a back and forth conversation, and who's very well educated in, all the doctrine of that. And look, you know what you put out there, you're going to expect that when you're looking for somebody to partner up with. Sure. The universe delivers that. Know what it is that you want. The
universe has your back.
The universe has your back.
It's not inspiring against you. It is working.
It's conspiring with you.
It's conspiring to push you in the right direction.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that we go through is really about, it's growth, development. It's self-love. It's, you want something healthy? Make sure that you're healthy.
Be
Mind,
healthy. Be
body,
the healthy.
and spirit.
Yep.
So that when you bring something to the table, you're going to attract exactly what you bring forth. If you're in a relationship that really isn't healthy, be it a friendship or a love interest, really start looking at yourself and then start making those changes, because those changes aren't going to allow for those unhealthy, sort of things. Those, that thing that makes you go, oh, why again?
That's funny. That's true. That's true. I mean, self-love is definitely, it's hard. You see that a lot out there for people to really think the whole mental mindset, and you're constantly thinking about everything that you have to take on in the world, right? I think we overburden ourselves, and then we measure ourselves up against this facade of a status quo that that's pointless. I think so many people are involved in social media and seeing this, and that starts to hinder at their own self-worth. I'm not there yet, I should have been at my age, whatever excuses kind of pop up in there, and it hurts your self-worth, and it shouldn't, because most of what you see is a facade, and understanding your own beauty, sometimes going outside, sitting in the grass, staring at a tree, playing with a lizard.
It's that measurement that people put on love, as opposed to focusing on the amount of love they already have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, guys, again, send us a message.
Yep,
we want to hear. If you're watching us on Facebook.
What works for you? What are some of the things that you do for a healthy relationship? We want to know. We want you to share so other people can benefit from that. And
this is by no means, expert talk. This is just life experiences, and a lot of us already have them and have already endured and overcome some of these issues. So if you have advice for our audience, by all means, comment on Facebook. I'm sure everybody would like to know. Or give us a call, 888-565-1470.
Yep. Yeah, so we had a great topic on love and relationships, which we didn't even scratch the surface on that. There's just so many elements.
Just a touch.
You can only be very, very kind of general here.
So guys, tune in next week. We're going to have a guest here talking about healthier, more confident you, and we cannot wait. Catch us live on Facebook at Two Boricuas, Minding Your Business with Sandra and Jeanette. Send us a message, guys. Mind your biz at 2boricuas.com. Thank you. Join us next week.
Yep. To be a guest on our show, go to 2boricuas.com as well. Fill out our form, and we look forward to having you.
Yeah. Have a great weekend, guys. Thank you so much.
Peace. Yep.
What a great show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Sandra and Jeanette and Minding Your Business with Two Boricuas.
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Two Boricuas. That's the number 2. If you'd like to give us some feedback or thoughts or be featured on our show, please email us at mindyourbiz@twoboricuas.com. That's the number 2 and Boricuas with a C, Boricuas. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys.